All right, everybody, settle in. Thank you so much for coming back for session 2 of the Fireside Chats. We are joined with one of my favorite people in the industry. You have been doing so many amazing things for, gosh, what's it been, 2 decades at this point?
Half my life.
2 decades or so? You've done stuff with, gosh, let me read some of the stuff off. You worked on the Madden franchise. You've worked at Game Trailers TV. You've done stuff for the IGDA. I'm sorry. You've been working there as the executive director of the Academy of Arts and Sciences. You've done so many amazing things in the industry. How do you keep up with how fast things are going, how much things are changing, how many things you have hats for? What is going on with you currently at GDC this year? Just let folks know what's been going on.
Okay, that's a lot of questions.
It was a multiple compound question.
Well, games are identity for me. A lot of people here, people of color, diverse in all sorts of ways. The reason I got into games, or why I identify as a gamer, is because of rule sets.
Huh.
And inside the game space, there are actually fair rules by which you all play. Outside of the game space, many of you probably experience differing sets of rules as you navigate challenges and interact with society and culture, with your family, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So it's just very powerful for me to be able to reside inside of games. Huh. And I've manifest that in many different ways, but it'll always be games, for life. How do I navigate? I guess as an aesthetic, I am motivated by people who want something more. Okay, and I sort of always have been. And I was set up at a very high trajectory, like I was, curated black child.
Yeah.
And so I went to the math camp like everybody, and I got my national math championship. Then I went to boarding school. Then I went to Harvard.
Yeah.
All those qualifying questions you've all experienced. I got an engineering degree from Harvard, so I can say hello, step in to begin the discussion,
right.
Possibly.
Right.
As a gamer, well, let me take a step back. The way I broke into the industry, everyone has a breaking in story. The point of going to college for me was to be able to do what I wanted to do. I wanted agency in my own life.
Yes.
I was very motivated by games, but I was pursuing an engineering degree. I was an AT&T scholar, and the path was to go work for AT&T. I did not want to do that. My degree was in water treatment. And that's where you learn to make the dirty water into drinkable water.
Yeah.
Hydrology. Also not for me. And so I actually got my first job, TLDR, by cold call. I cold called all the people in the credits for NHL hockey at their desk from my dorm room. Hi, my name's Gordon Bellamy. Click. Hi, I love your game. Click. Hi, I love NHL. Click. Hi, click. Because I was, of course, calling up and down a hallway, right? Like literally ringing phones up and down a hallway. By coincidence, I got down to special thanks, right? And I didn't know I was F'd special thanks. And there's a guy named Jim Simmons who was an external developer, didn't know what that was. Called the name, Jim Simmons. Guy picks up, says, hey. And I'm like, hey, I'm Gordon. And he doesn't hang up. And I was like, I'd love to be a part of what you're doing, very passionate about it. I identify as gamer. He's like, well, you can become an entry-level tester. You can get out here over spring break. No promises, is what is. So I saved up my money, got a plane ticket out to EA, all in.
Wow.
Tester test, yellow pad, cartridge and me. Lakers versus Celtics.
Yes. Yes.
Right? That's what I said.
Yes.
Because it could have been some Populous or something that was like, I don't know what's broken in Populous. I don't know, it's all broken, right? And so by good fortune, the game aligned with my identity, and that gave me an opportunity to participate, become a summer intern. I was EA's Global Rookie of the Year, because as you know, when you're black, get a job, you can't go home 9 to 5, watch Scandal, you got to work, right? So, and then I had the opportunity to design Madden Football. So I was lead designer Madden Football. If you remember 96, players turned black. Players turned black. Then we had a startup, learned where I was in the food chain, called Z-Axis. I was creative director of that.
I want to pause you on that Madden thing really quick, because that's interesting. What was that conversation like? Was that a thing that was like, hey, everybody?
I'll tell you. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh, Black History. It's awesome. So here's what happened. The players can only be one color.
Yeah.
Limitations of palette, old school days. And it turned out that, like, statistically, I don't know, like 57, 58% of the players in the NFL are black. You got to research it though, not default information. And so yeah, I went into a meeting with like a black Brett Favre, whatever. Oh, you know it was painful, right? You know people will be like, but what about Joe Montana?
He is Taupe now.
Right?
How did we do this?
No, he was like 001. If you guys have that sort of, you're with me. You're with me. Yeah, but it's hard to argue the facts, right? Because you wouldn't want to deny, you know, all whatever percentage of the people their identity, right? That'd be weird,
Right.
Agreed. And it did contrast with the field really well. So this is being totally inclusive, right? When you have different kinds of weather, right? You need something that's different than grass or even like a sand or snow. Black.
Interesting. I mean, it's one of those weird things that you don't think about in terms of, well, like the practicality of making characters who look like other people because they are actual people in those places.
Or characters who look like you.
Right.
Because I remember like Pele was red when I played Montari. Right? So it was actually very visceral experience to actually, you know that you can exist in these virtual worlds, like Lieutenant Aurora, like Star Trek.
Yes.
That you exist in the future.
Yes. Was the conversation something that was kind of one where there was a lot of pushback? Or was it something that folks were like, oh, that makes sense?
No, it is incredibly progressive. What, we think we're going somewhere else? No, it's all good.
No, okay.
It's all good. Okay. No, and so that started a studio called Z-Axis. We sold to Activision. That's the Bubble 1.0. That was really great. And then moved to LA, ran the trade orgs, worked for a company THQ.
Yep.
Helped my friends start Infinity Ward back in the day.
Yeah.
What else is neat?
Oh, just Infinity Ward.
I went to China. I worked for Tencent for a bit.
How was working overseas?
It was great. It was like working for the New York Yankees. It's a very big organization. Very big, very powerful things. We had a company party in a soccer stadium. I'd never experienced something like that. As you can imagine, there weren't very many African-American gay people in this Chinese organization.
I'm sure.
It's very powerful. I had my head rubbed. Hadn't had that happen recently. What? Is that not familiar with people? No? Is that not? Oh, sorry. Too soon? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Their stock market is worth this, that, and the other.
That's when I channel my wife's like social worker. So how did that make you feel?
Oh, you know what? You want to work in an environment where people can be themselves with you, right? Everyone wants that truth. So is what is. And now I teach at USC.
Yes.
A leading program trying to help elevate a new generation of designers. And I'm with a VR startup called The Wave. We're democratizing live music in VR.
Wow.
And running GGP, thanks Microsoft, through a great event last night to celebrate inclusiveness. It's very powerful.
GGP is amazing too.
And just try to treat others well and be here with y'all, sharing the same voice you're in right now.
So how has your GDC been? Like, what's a week for you look like in this space now, where it's like you come in, maybe hang out with some folks, or are you looking at other games to kind of pull information in?
I'm not a hangouter. I'm not really that. I guess I'm more people focused at this point than product focused.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone who's been around for a minute knows products come and go, but your narrative journeys actually revolves around people and how you move with them. They may have products and projects, but it's people. So whether it be people at stage of my career who are like halftime, looking at that second half, right? Or people who are emerging, trying to break in, who are just trying to get that access. It's like this. I mean, this is incredible. This didn't exist, okay? Blacks and Gaming in like 95.
What did that look like? Blacks and Gaming in 95. What was that version like?
There was one guy in EA, Tony Barnes, before me, little Black History, Tony Barnes. We'd meet, if we saw each other in the hallway, that was Blacks and Gaming at EA. True story. This is actually really funny. I don't know if it's funny or not, but back then there were like the big rivalry. It's sort of gone away now because games are so dispersed. Back then, Sega was our rivalry, Sega Sports, and we were like, oh, Sega Sports, they're the worst. They're the worst bad people. Who would ever? Why would you ever? There were black people there too. We never knew them because you would mix. Back then, actually, it's sort of funny because there were no black people. We'll talk about black stuff. It's awesome. I decided to try to democratize being on Team Madden. Because the way you got on back in the day was if you worked at the mall nearby, if you had access, like physical access to Foster City, California, then you could work there. But not many people have access to Foster City, California. They can just jet out to take a test, right? So we put it on the internet. We actually put our emails in the manual. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that.
We had emails in the manual. And so we were like, And we went on the listservs, and we're like, if you want to be the best, if you're feeling this,
Yeah.
submit to us. No rules. No rules. Just show us that you want it more than anybody else. And we formed Team Madden. And that team of like 8, two of them were black,
Yeah.
went on to do the Microsoft Fever, NFL Blitz,
Wow.
Madden, college. Wait, I said Microsoft Fever, the Microsoft one, all right? God. Remember when they had the black football game?
BCFX?
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
That was amazing. That was a really cool experience. That was really cool.
God, Fox Sports, like
Yes.
all the same 8. Now the guy who runs Tops, Digital's at Tops. It's all the same 8. Yeah, because of the free market. Like when you give people like this access to opportunity,
Yeah.
right? Then people who have that internal mechanism can propel themselves forward.
Yeah, yeah. What are some of the holes that you see currently that need some work, and trying to see about getting people in places where they can feel comfortable and also kind of let the things that are genuinely them shine through their work? Do you feel like there are some places that need some fixing on that side?
Well, it's like this. How does this community persist outside of this event?
Right.
Right? And how do you be a useful resource, someone you can call that 3 times when you're either trying to figure something out, trying to not get fired, trying to get promoted,
Yeah.
trying to be creative, whatever your sort of narrative journey is,
Yeah.
right? Move to a new city.
Yes.
That's a big thing. As a developer, oftentimes now the expected narrative is you're going to live in multiple cities over the course of your career, which is a big thing as an adult,
Yep.
right? You might have kids, you might have a dog, whatever, right? I think that having, God, so I went to Harvard, so we have lots of resources designed to help us cultivate. So before I even went looking companies, I went on my alumni directory, said video games, and actually gave me a list of every single person in video games who went to Harvard. It's always there.
Network at college.
Yeah, before we even got in it,
Yeah.
like it was designed for us to be around to sustain careers and to be able to visualize that would be in it, right? It's not as easy if you think of being African American or African whatever
Sure.
to identify a career path where you can go like, oh, there's someone who's at year 5 or year 10 or year 20,
Right.
who sees that as a positive qualifying question.
Yes.
And sees my success as their success,
Right.
right? The same way that if I go to Harvard, oh, you went to Harvard? What house were you in? Right? We have a whole opening gambit about elevating and supporting each other throughout our careers, even through the companies, right? You worked at EA. Who didn't work at EA? Right? You have a story. What did you work on? We do it all the time. We treat each other very well.
Yeah.
Aaron, I've seen Aaron a million times, right? You can call it. What's up, right? If you don't have access to that institutional wealth,
Yes.
well, then you're only, like I was talking to someone about it, you're business card rich. Like you might have a card for a moment, like a hot card. You worked on No Man's Sky. You worked on whatever. But you don't have the wealth of this craft.
Right.
And so I'd just say for black people, it'd be like, how do you, it'd be simple as making a directory, really. If someone was like organized enough to make a directory, right? Everyone knows.
Yeah.
That people would just get in the habit of calling on each other. Have events like this. Heck, have it one a quarter so you could plan your life around it. You know what I mean? Because this might not be the quarter you need it, but next quarter you might need this. And be like, God, I wish there was a recruiter talking to me, right?
Yeah, exactly. We have
Real talk.
someone
No,
coming
it's
up after that.
no,
Yeah,
it's
the truth.
fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But if you could plan around it, then you could actually, whatever, regionalize it, all the things that reduce access. But I would say first thing, there's no directory. There is no way to simply see black people. You're discovering me. Right, I've been around 20-some years, right? And it's not ego surfing, it's just, I don't know, it's actually easier to find.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people like me. I discover stories everyone I meet, and you're like, oh, by the way, I'm the baller boss of this, that, and the other. And I'm still like, that's fantastic.
Right.
I don't have access to you in a sustainable way.
Yeah, I mean, we had we talked about that a little bit earlier with Cat Small having the game dev, Black game dev site that's up and stuff. But I feel like there's even a secondary part of.
Wait, slow down. Tell us more. I want to, what?
So Cat Small, who she's from Brooklyn Gamery, she's done amazing work. She's made a whole bunch of games. She was also with CodeLib. She helped found CodeLib. We have all had this conversation. Myself and Tanya and some other folks who have talked about how we share the information, how we let people know that we are here. And she decided that she wanted to get some folks together and make a site and say, here are all the folks. Just here's a list of names of people.
What's the website? What is it?
Black Game Devs. What is it? Black Game Devs. .com.
Well, go ahead. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's I mean
Wait,
that's
does
the
everyone
reason.
know this? Besides, it could be me. I could age out this stuff and be like, it's on Snapchat. I don't know. Is it a blackgamedevs.com?
Yeah, blackgamedevs.com.
And it's a directory.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
Is everybody in here who signs up for this today in it?
No.
How do we bridge that? That's okay. There's
That's
an action.
right,
You didn't even
exactly.
stop my thing.
Right.
We could be done if you just stop and just list everybody in this room on that site. Then we would have done something super meaningful, right? You got 40 volunteers in here from Microsoft, right?
Yes.
Like real talk.
Yeah.
And you have that's like a KPI.
It's true. True. I mean,
You can share with Microsoft too. All good.
We need to do some work together, Aaron. We need to figure this out. We need to figure this out. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would also reverse engineer what Blacks in Gaming Facebook, right? Reverse it. You're Microsoft, super smart. Rip it out. Someone could have some intern click on every name, what they do. They don't have to opt. You can opt in. You don't have to opt into being black. They're black. Click. What? Am I being facetious? No. The information is public, right? Right?
No, that's the reason why I love you, because you will not front. You were like, no, you get that stuff, get that information, and block that stuff out.
People be of great value. It'd be like this website. Is that not, what's the purpose of the website?
I don't know because I didn't search.
Oh, I'm sorry pointing you because I thought you were giving the info. I thought it was.
No.
Anya is a leader. I assumed it was yours. That was a false assumption. I didn't know.
It was literally just because they were like, I don't know who is here, and I need a list of
Who didn't know?
Black people make games.
Yeah, it was that.
Let me correct that.
Yeah, it was the conversation about. The conversation started in there's a call for black devs to be visible and to be seen.
Called by who?
Myself and
So it's you.
I didn't do it, but I'm
did
trying
it?
to help do it.
Is this still
Cat Small did. No, she left.
Is they here?
No, she left.
I'm
Cat
not
left.
pronounced.
Cat left.
Oh, okay.
Cat left. She stepped out.
Whoops. There's a real problem.
But
It's a real talk, right? It's the history, right? She's writing the history book, right?
Yeah.
That's a history book,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
The closest thing to if I want to take a temperature
Sure.
right now, Black Game does. That seems fair.
Sure.
Reasonable.
Sure.
If she's not able to accrue the information when all the blacks are in one place, or whatever, that's not all the blacks, the 99th percentile of blacks who have access to GDC, who can afford to be here and stay here, whatever, a useful sample.
You know what? I'll take that because that's my job as media and as a person with that media platform. I'm doing a bad job on that.
No. I'm not trying to bring.
I know.
Don't even go there. You got a site. There used to be 0 sites. You got 1,000% of the sites.
I need 1,000.1.
Yeah, you do.
But
Well, because then you could have metrics. You could actually measure growth.
that's
You could actually
important.
see. You could actually support people as they navigate the bumpy roads, and be like, you're underemployed, not unemployed, right? If you actually have resources.
Agreed.
Otherwise, being black is not an asset. And if it's not an asset, well, then it's something you need to squash and look to other strengths. And you need to join the other club, whatever that may be, the trait which is affirmative for you
Sure.
to move forward in your career, which is okay.
Sure.
No wrong reason to be successful.
I mean, I think that's a part of the conversation too. Is how do we as consumers of the medium and also people who are trying to make the games that we are hoping to see. How do we also try to have folks come in and let folks know who are not in that circle that our community is one to invest in.
When you say our community, which one do you mean?
I mean all the people of color, marginalized folk.
But okay, I'm sorry. I'll be super IGDA-ish.
Sure.
Do you mean developers, people who create games, people who distribute and share games, communicate? Aaron, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you code that much, but you're super important.
Right.
I know I'd have you on the committee, right? Because you
Right.
get shit done,
Right.
and we'd be moving forward.
Right.
But he's not necessarily a dev per se.
Sure.
Or like all those nowadays, a whole new generation of all the Twitch people and the YouTubers that are a critical part.
Which
of
is
how
also
this
a spot where you don't see a lot of POCs in that spot that are actually getting any kind of spotlight as well.
Well, actually, I want to sample that because actually I don't know.
Yeah.
Aren't there famous black Twitch?
Very few.
YouTube? No.
Very, very few.
There's is it literally that lean? Like is it like TwitchCon like is lean? Like there's a couple like 2017.
They're at the conference, but they are not given first billing. They're not getting that first in all the advertisements that I see.
So
I
access
never
opportunity.
see them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that to me is problematic. Where
Well,
you have,
it's actually systemic. It's not
well,
problematic.
yes, that's true. That's very, very true.
They don't
Very,
move
very
tickets. Oh no.
And
That's not good.
Right.
That's not good.
No, right. I can't have you headline my thing because the chat gets toxic when you get online.
Is it that there's no like? Okay, wait. Okay, I'm sorry to be. I'm not even. I just some real. Just right. We're all black. We can talk black things. Is that
Yeah.
cool? I mean,
Yeah.
we're all black inclusive. adjacent allies, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know people. Okay, wait. No, real talk. You don't know people's lives. Their children could be black. Their partners are black. Their, you know, cousins, parents. You don't know. So we'll all be black for a second.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous black YouTuber or Twitch star?
MK.
On Twitch, I think.
Who?
Trihex. He's a Yoshi's Island speedrunner kind of guy.
And Marcus MKBD, who does tech stuff on YouTube. That's the one. It's the first person I think of when I think of black tech.
Okay, I just want to get a consensus here. Who's heard of Trihex? Raise your hand. Or watch them. Ooh, shit. And he's screwed. Like, who's heard of, who plays, no, seriously, right? You sort of get it, right?
Right.
If people like said, who's listened to Beyonce? And y'all like, right?
Right.
So that's an opportunity. Let's call action items, okay?
Yes.
Microsoft obviously is taking leadership. Thank you, Microsoft.
Thank you, Microsoft.
No, real talk.
No,
real talk, right? And not to belittle anyone else who has not yet expressed themselves this way.
Sure.
Y'all are doing it right now.
Yeah.
This is a clear opportunity. I would love if next year, next event, whatever, Trihex?
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
MKBD.
Is there anybody else? Let's try to save one more life. Anybody? Give me something.
I'm a fan of Wooly Madden and Brennan Williams.
Perfect. That's 4. That's a full budget.
Doing Austin Creed too.
5. That's even better. This is great. Oh, the wrestler dude.
Yeah.
See, I've heard of him. Didn't know he had a second name. Confusing.
He's here too, by the way.
Or is he? Is he in the room?
No. Damn it, Xavier.
Okay.
I know who to reach out to next
This is
time.
very spiritual because this is great. This is not about me.
I love this.
It's about us.
I love this. This is
Right?
dope.
It's no different. Right? You talk about my narrative, blah blah blah. Read my Wikipedia, blah blah. My Nickelodeon commercial.
That was really dope. That was super
Watch,
cool.
who saw my Nickelodeon commercial? Yeah. Aw. Right on. That's cool. That's cool.
That was
I know,
awesome.
exactly, I know. Hey. Hold on a second. If I don't, who should I wait on to send it to you? No, who should I wait on? Because I will wait. The point being this, a tangible opportunity would be this.
Yes.
You identified 5 folks. Once again, there's someone in here from Microsoft who's taking notes or we're filming it. It'd be great.
Yes.
I think it'd be uplifting, tangibly, to see those 5 people.
Yeah.
That doesn't be in real life, online. It could be done online. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Doing something where we say they are of value. Right? I don't even know if they're funny, serious, Yoshi Island, or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that they exist.
Right.
And thus, if you aspire to even be in this medium that's so critical to success, you will know that, and you put a logo on it too. Gaming for everyone, perfect. Right?
Look at that.
Literally let them know, right, that others, that they can exist because a light might be shown on them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Ain't not make too complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated. I bet a lot of people go. I bet more people than you think
Yeah, it's true.
would be like, because, wait, do they ever do crossover? I'm sorry, I don't mean to sidetrack, but I'm super curious. Do they cross over with each other?
Sometimes.
They do?
Yeah.
I bet they do.
Collaboration.
I bet they, yeah.
Collaboration is
Good. So yeah, we should cultivate that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Same thing with developers, right? And it's not like being racist or whatever. It's just like that. If it's a positive affirmative trait, well, then something you should celebrate its expression. If it's not, then it's not, and then you should just be true.
Man. I'm just like stuck right now. I'm just like, oh man.
Not my intention.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's one of the conversations that I wanted to have with you was just like how you think about all these things and how
I
that stuff
tell you,
works.
I think this is amazing. I guess being present, right, in this, right, if you're in a luxury swimming pool, you know what it is to be wet. And I go like, oh, I'm in this pool right now. This is nice, right?
Yeah.
Well, tangible things, right? That I observed. You got trends, right? I want to see the VR. If we're just doing, let's be once again. It doesn't matter. If we're very topical. It could be queer or Hispanic. All things should be celebrated, right?
Sure.
But if we're trying to cultivate, right, which is different.
Yes.
Right. If you're trying to create a healthy ecosystem, right, where there is not the there's one this year. Shit. There's 5 YouTubers in the universe, some tragic effing stats, right? If you want to transform that, well, then you have to, it's like when I teach. The young students are all super brilliant, but they're like plants without the little stake you put in.
Right.
Right? And there's an obligation as a teacher to be that stake. Now, they're going to grow the way they grow, but as a stake, you offer them that sort of structure to at least start heading in a direction. But then they're still gonna, do what they do. Hopefully, feeling free and up in the air. They're not literally under the ground though, like under like a car tire, like going the wrong way to start.
Yeah.
I would offer that underrepresented people thrive when giving opportunity.
Agreed on that.
Another thing people should do. Oh my God! So there's a list for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's taking notes? Why are you not taking notes? It's on
I
tape.
know other people like. I mean, I don't know the Microsoft meeting, but okay, Xbox Live, that'd be cool too. But the thing I do like about Facebook,
Yes.
is faces.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to black people: there's a value to seeing faces like your own because there's a trust, there's a safety in numbers. Look right around this room. You're in a game room where nothing's going to jump off. Period.
Right.
There's no way. Look it. Go over GDC. You know you have your moments where you go if something was disruptive.
We've all looked at the exit.
I'm not being absurd. I'm not being.
No,
just
it's
saying,
that's real.
right?
That's
And-
honest.
And once again, having this feeling of default, right,
Yep.
is very powerful. It fosters creativity,
Yep.
freedom to iterate, which you don't often have when you're other.
Yep.
Because you one idea. Well, we tried that.
Yep.
That didn't test well.
And if you mess it up, we're never doing it again.
Yeah. Right?
Right.
Because we were exploring diversity. Our bad.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
We explored it. It's over there.
Yeah.
We fixed that.
So, I mean, the most important thing about this event is it's the second year, right? It's third year, second year. It feels second year to me. Anyone been here for 3 years?
Yeah.
Big event? 12.
No, this event. No, like
Second
like
fireside
this.
They
You
will
know
never-
what I mean. But that's important. No, but his point is important too, that there are 12 years that shouldn't be paved over in history. Right? And the question I would challenge all you with is if you were to try to find history of those 12 events, I would be a scavenger hunt of a mother. Right? I'll give you all 100 points if you come up with something from each of those 12 events, and that's just in the last 12 years. So the internet existed. You know, there were, for the most part, camera phones, but it's not very well curated.
Right.
So that might be another thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Preserving history.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where are the stories told? Where does one even find basic information so that you could discover that there is even a thing to be a part of?
Starting point.
A starting point.
Yeah.
Right? I know there's a website, though, like Gaming for Everyone.
Yeah.
Right? That's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? To tell stories, to preserve history of what's going on, whether it be content, creators, marketers,
Yeah.
heck, even the Microsoft people. You know, this is the easiest thing ever. I would love something, gosh, if you could see the blacks of Microsoft. They could opt in because
Yeah.
of privacy rights.
Affinity
but where
right-
you could
affinity
simply
pools too.
see they existed and see some of the impressive roles, right? I mean, I'll start naming names. Sierra, wherever you're at.
Exactly.
I
Yep.
see you. I didn't know you, but I see you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's probably a bunch of stories in here. Some loud, some quiet. Some people working real hard, couldn't make it to GDC because they gotta, grind that wheel.
Yeah.
But it's hard to.
Yeah. I
wealth.
mean, that's work. It's
wealth.
work that we have to do on that end. Is try to.
Well, it's opportunity. But the point is to do something. And this is something which is fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I wonder when the next thing is. Does everyone know? Let's announce it.
When's the next thing? Who knows?
We're going to determine that in this room.
Okay, good. We're here.
Saturday, there's a
See.
town hall, actually. Town hall
Awesome.
on 10 to, I believe, 5, 10 to 6.
Yeah. Wait, tell us more. I actually don't know what you mean. A town hall where?
It's
A town hall what?
It's at 301 Howard. I believe it's like a Google building. Google has a Google launch pad. Yeah. So
Wait,
it's exactly
what?
what we're talking about now. We did an earlier, shorter town hall meeting at GDC to talk about these things. We had a round table, and we're going to be going over that much deeper to figure out actual solutions for these detectives.
Awesome.
So that's happening this Saturday.
We need to learn. Who's we?
Well, not specifically myself. I'll be attending, but blacks in Yeah.
And now we have to
Okay.
figure out how to disseminate that information. in
No, it's
ways
fine.
that-
No, but it's getting there because this exists.
Yeah.
He knows about it. How did you know about it?
I went to the round table.
Access. So access opportunity. So there's access to persistent knowledge, right? Because there's a calendar of events. This is great. So great. Blacks in Gaming working hard. Logos here. They found Google. So they're making some calls. Google had something for luncheon, right? They had a whole calendar of events.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, is very simple, really. How do people find ongoing information and who's preserving the history
Yep.
so that blacks in gaming or outside of gaming or after gaming or whatever know that this even happened? Right? You know when you see those historical civil rights things and you go, oh, look, they were all together the whole time. Right? You laugh because it's visceral,
Yeah.
because it's real.
Yeah.
That's why that's funny, but it's not totally funny. Like, and once again, there's an opportunity with these resources
Yeah.
to start to tell a story. Even recording the story means it's of value. Taking pictures, filming.
Yeah.
means it's of value
Now
if
we know
you
what's
put it
here.
up
Yeah. Yeah. We will.
somewhere.
We'll figure out a way to get that done.
And then let people know how to get to it.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
They'll put a firewall in front of
We're gonna.
it. What?
No, it's perfect because it's simple, but it just makes sense.
Depends on your intent. Like it depends. Like if your intent is to educate. I
I would hope that that's
depends.
the purpose of what we're all trying to do here today.
Okay. Well, cool. I can't wait.
We'll-
You got all bet. I mean, it's fantastic. Like, this is amazing. Aaron's up in. I mean, you see it, right? Senior people are here, so there's something going on.
Yes.
Where at the base level,
Yes.
it is being stated from the highest levels that there is value here.
Yes.
Okay, whatever that means, career value, just innate value, and that may not be a message you hear 364, the other 364 days.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah.
But most of the world's online now, so I just want to see the online site
Okay. We got some work to
or
do.
mobile.
We got some work to do.
But we're doing work.
True. True indeed. I
I
agree.
took it down the road. I hope this is uplifting for you.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's-
I don't mean to bring it
I-
down. I hope real talk is.
I love it.
We can just, I don't know. We can LinkedIn all day, but I'm just trying to.
No, and that's the reason. Again, that's the reason why talks like this are important. I
Okay.
think that having you here and having folks be able to have access to you and have that conversation is valuable in so many numerous ways.
Yeah. And just to be clear, so the reason I don't say this out of hand, so I did this with the gays, right? The gays had the same problem. We were anonymized to each other, didn't know each other, blah, blah. And I was like, we need to persist. So we started a Facebook group so we could just persist. What it means in between events is jobs. Number one thing people need is to eat.
Right.
Real talk. Second thing is to feel safe after they ate. Right? Are you in a safe workplace where you can thrive and move forward? Or are you in a dangerous workplace where you will not be able to thrive?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Then after that's fun. Gifts. Right? Leisure, because you're safe and you can eat. No different than any.
Yeah. Man, that is pure dopeness. Thank you so much. Because we're running a little bit light on time.
Isn't that ironic? We're running out of time, people. You should really take it to heart.
Yeah.
Take it to heart. Live your life. Like, right?
Sorry, we
No.
We have a lot more time, but this has been amazing. I just want to give you a round.
Thank you so much.
much.
That was awesome. That was amazing.